Okay. Ow. Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making garlic butter, is it garlic butter roasted chicken? I can't remember the full name, but roasted chicken is what I looked up when I found this recipe like a month and a half ago. And I was at the grocery store. Sorry, a little rambling time. But walking through the grocery store with like my list of ingredients that I want to get is great, you know what you're doing, but then every now and then you walk in and you see something and you're like, we're changing it up. And this happened because whole chicken was on like super sale. And I'm like, I've never made a whole chicken before. So in the store, I'm like looking up a recipe, and this was like one of the top ones that I like found right away. And I'm like, we're making it, because I think I had all of the ingredients already. All I needed was the chicken, so I just kind of threw that in my cart. And it was a winner, instant success. But now I'm sharing the recipe with you all. And if you've never made a whole chicken before, give it a go. Hopefully chicken's on sale for you. It was still on sale. It wasn't on as quite as much sale as it was when I first made it. I mean, I think the whole chicken was still like $5, which it's gonna feed me probably like 4 or 5 meals. Super deal, great deal. So I'm happy with that. Give it a go. I mean, obviously I haven't shown you anything, but I'm already excited to do this recipe. So I hope you are too. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you're not grossed out, because I am gonna be handling a whole raw chicken for a bit of this. So if that's not your thing, I won't judge you for not viewing, but if you're into chicken, give it a go. All right, let's run through the ingredients and then we'll get into cooking. 1 whole chicken, 1/4 cup butter, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1/4 cup wine. Mine's fairly old, but I only use it for cooking. Does wine go bad? 1 lemon, salt and pepper, 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, 4 cloves of minced garlic, 1 head of garlic, and rosemary. The first step is going to be, I actually did some stuff beforehand to like prep the chicken. I just thought it wouldn't look great on camera, but it's like removing the like neck and whatnot from inside of the chicken like cavity. And you can use that to like make a gravy or something, but I'm just not doing that for the video today, but you can kind of do that on your own. And then also just like pat the chicken dry. Kind of do those things before this step. Obviously the recipe tells you all this, but I wanna make sure that you're informed. Also, and speaking of information, we're handling raw chicken, so make sure you clean your hands thoroughly anytime that you touch it and then need to touch something else. So don't be handling the chicken and then just put those salmonella hands all over the place. Wash your hands, don't get sick. But the actual step that we're going to do together is covering the chicken in the butter, the olive oil, the white wine, and then also half of the juice from a lemon. We want to cover that on the like outside, inside the cavity, and then also like under the skin. So you're gonna have to separate that. And yeah, I mean, this is to really just kind of like I guess I get like the flavors all over the place. So it's probably a little bit easier if you like mix all those together in like one container, or we can pour them all individually if you want to do it that way, but they're all kind of being like mixed together. So follow your heart. Now the next step is we're just gonna like liberally salt and pepper all over the chicken. Just make it rain. So this next step, we're going to sprinkle over the parsley and then like rub in some garlic, getting like a little bit like masseuse vibes going on there because we're kind of massaging it like all of the ingredients that we put on together. I might need to like look at the recipe again because I didn't write it down in mine, but if it doesn't say this, I'm still gonna do it and I recommend you do it. I would put the parsley under the skin as well, along with the garlic. I think it does say to put the garlic under the skin. I mean, like the skin on the chicken, similar to your skin, it's protective. So if you just put the seasoning on the outside, it's just gonna be on the skin. Like that, the meat which you actually eat isn't gonna get all that flavor. So it might seem gross, but like the under the skin aspect of this whole cooking process is very important because that's where like the flavor comes from. So I know I've said it a few other times, but like don't skip out on that step. I know it might seem gross, but that's where the flavor's coming from. So you gotta make sure that it's kind of done properly, done well, or else it's gonna be very bland. Just letting you know. So if it doesn't taste well, and you didn't do that, that's on you. But if you do that and it doesn't taste well, me and the recipe will take the blame. The next step is going to be to take the garlic head that we cut in half, put that inside of the chicken along with the lemon half that we squeezed out to use for the juice in like the first step. And then also the rosemary, just kind of shove all that into the turkey and then tie the legs up together with like some like kitchen twine. And I will say, I didn't state it in the previous steps, but the parsley and the rosemary that are being used in this recipe, I grew in my, well, I was gonna say in my garden. They're in pots, but they're outside. I grew myself, so I didn't have to pay like the $1.99 for herbs. Saving that money. I don't know how much the seeds cost, but probably about $1.99. But no, it's kind of fun like growing stuff. The rosemary is like, it's growing well, but it just isn't growing fast. So I can't make this recipe too often because I have to like let it grow back after taking off some. But you know, that's just my own little garden story. So put all that stuff in there, tie it up, and then we're almost ready to, well actually I think the next step will be to roast it. So now it's roasting time. We're gonna throw the chicken in the oven at 430 for an hour and 15 minutes. We'll actually probably only do for like 37 minutes because halfway through we went to baste the chicken. Almost said turkey. We wanna baste the chicken. I have in the past forgotten to do that step. Well, I did it like 5 minutes before it finished. So setting the time for half the time helps remind you, hey, you need to do something. So a little pro tip from a person who's forgetful, and then obviously put it back in the oven for the remainder of the time. And then we pretty much have chicken ready, roast chicken, delicious. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And now finally, we want to remove the chicken from the oven, cover in foil, and let sit for 10 minutes. Winner, winner, chickens for dinner. So here we have it. The recipe does say to broil it for like 2 to 3 minutes to make it golden brown, but I have yet to ever need to do that step because it's 4:30 for an hour and 15. it gets golden brown. So I don't know, like every single time it makes me worried that I put it at the wrong temperature, because 430 seems fairly high, but I mean, it's beautiful. Obviously, because you have parsley on top, it's gonna get a little burnt looking, but if you look beyond that part, it's beautiful. Like, and also smells amazing. So I'm very excited to have this for dinner. I made some mashed potatoes, I got a salad. Usually I'll do like green beans or broccoli with this, but I use my small pan to make some like baked beans to kind of stand in for like gravy with the mashed potatoes. It's a whole thing. I don't know if anybody else does that, but in my family, mashed potatoes and baked beans on top, classic. I have found that my family has some weird quirks where we use baked beans in random places, like also baked potato. I feel like I've mentioned that before. Anyway, I'm very excited to have this. It smells amazing. It looks great. I'm not gonna taste test it because I already know it's good. And also I need to like plate it up and stuff like that. This is not really a one that you can, well, I mean, that would be very funny if I just kind of took a bite out of it. But just take my word, it's a great recipe. You should give it a go. I don't have anything else to say. Like, it's super simple, and the only hard part is just handling a raw chicken. Kind of gross the first time you do it, but after that, you're good to go. I don't think there's any other little tips or factoids that I'll leave you on. So on that note, bye Mom, still not dead. See ya.